Hi everyone, welcome to Stock Market Genius. Okay, so this is this week's update, and I'll speak into two segments. I'll go through the market updates, what's happening in the market right now, and then I will go into some of the stock ideas, okay, for this week. And this week, I think there are tons of ideas because we saw a little pullback, right, in the last couple of weeks when I was away, and fantastic, right? Whenever we hear or see such pullback, right, it's always an opportunity to pay attention to. But before we begin, right, let's look at the market. Right now, we are recording this on 5th of December, so things might change here and there. But the important thing is, hey, we are transiting into 2025, right? Just about 1 month to go. Now, recently, there was one of the most important news, and that gives us a pulse of the economy, and that is the US jobs information, right? So this is known as the JOLTS, okay? And it really jolts the market a little bit when it comes out. So what are the main things over here? Let's take a look, right? It says higher job openings and low layoff, right? So what does that translate? Because it's very confusing, right? There are more job openings, but lesser layoff. Shouldn't it be like, concurrently increasing? Okay, so you can read over here a few things is that number one, job opening increased by 372,000, but the higher, right, actually decreased by 269. Okay, and the layoff also drop off while the resignation increase. So how do we read this? It's very simple, right? With lower layoff and increased job openings, it means that the companies right now, what are they doing? They are actually keeping more people and they are hiring more people. Now, under what kind of circumstances, what kind of economic environment would company do this? Think about it, right? They must be more confident about the business environment going forward, or at least they are cherishing their people a bit more, right? They know that, hey, I might not need these people at this moment in time, but I would need them in due time, right? So they also know that human resource is tight right now. So that to me is a great news. Another thing is that the increase in vaccination rate over here, okay, to me it's actually not a bad news, right? It's actually a good news. It's a vote of confidence to the market, right? Guys, think about it. Those of you who holds a job, right? You have a regular job, right? When will you resign? Will you resign when you think the market is very bad going forward? Or will you resign when you think that, hey, the market is quite rosy, I can take my chances out there, I will be able to find the next job easier, right? So which is which? Okay, so overall, I think this job report gives us a very good picture of what is happening in the market right now. Okay, now next one is that just a very trivial news. Okay, is that Tesla has a very major news. Tesla actually was ruled by the government to not pay Elon Musk the 56 billion pay package that he was supposed to be due. Okay, and upon this news, right, honestly, this really boggles my mind, right? But I thought that, hey, if you don't need to pay off this amount of money, then the stock price should go up, right? But the share price actually dropped by 1.59%, close to 1.6, right? So this tells us once again, don't try to be, a god, right? Don't try to predict the market, right? We try to be stock market genius here, but we're not stock market gods, okay? So never try to predict the market and say where will this stock go up and down. Sometimes it may not go the way that you wanted, okay? And Tesla really has defied all odds in the last couple of months, has been increasing quite substantially, okay? So those of you who are bearish about the market, they have been burned so badly, especially those who have been shorting the market. Okay. Now, I believe going forward, the market is going to be still going up a bit more. Why? Because when I look at the market liquidity, right, and this is known as the M2 supply, right? You can actually go and research this. This is the amount of money that is sloshing in the market up and down. Okay. And you can see that it has been increasing, this whole year. And in fact, it doesn't seem to be slowing down very much. In fact, the velocity of money has been increasing throughout this whole period. Only the last couple of months it tapers off. So even if the velocity were to tapers off, so long it doesn't come down, right? It means the money supply is still increasing. Okay, to help you visualize this, just think about it. If you're driving, okay, you might be traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, right? That's the velocity. Now you are tapering off at 100 kilometers per hour. Now, can I ask you, are you still speeding forward? Is your distance still increasing? Yes, right? So therefore, even with this tapering off, the amount of money in the market is going to increase at 100 kilometers per hour still, okay? And even if it drop off, let's say we drop to 80 kilometers per hour, can I ask you, does it mean that the market money flow is going to shrink? No, it's just going to grow, still grow, but grow at a slower rate. So I think this is going to bode really well for the market because right now what I see is that there's a lot of liquidity sloshing around, right, in the whole environment over here. Now, of course, as you know, as the market climb higher, there will always be a lot of naysayers, right? For example, as I was doing this week's presentation, right, I saw this article by this guy, uh, Rushir Sharma, right? Apparently, he's quite reputable. He spent 25 years in I think Morgan Stanley or something like that, right? And he says this is the mother of all bubbles. Oh well, have I not heard that multiple times, right? And he says that US has never been so overhyped relative to the rest of the world. Now, when you hear such negative news, right? Of course, please dive in to read his article. I've done that. I honestly don't find any very substantial points about why he think the market truly will come down from here. He's basically saying that this thing is expensive, but he's not giving you a reason why it will come further down. Okay, right? So what I did was I wanted to look at, hey, how about his past prediction? Is he like, pretty accurate? Like Benjamin Grantham, right? It's a guy that I really follow, right? Jeremy Grantham, sorry, right? A guy I really follow. And when he says that this is like very bubbly and he backs up with data, and that gives me a grounding information. But for this guy, I'm not sure, right? So I look at his past information, right? So I say, hey, wow, he actually has like a top 10 trends for 2024. So he talks about politics and whatnot, right? So I look at the market prediction. Okay. And he says the air could still come out slowly. Wow, very descriptive. Okay. Of both the economy and the market, right? The S&P 500 has not made new highs in 2 years and blah, 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 blah. Right. Borrowing cost is still high. So the economy is likely going to slide downwards. Okay. Right. So, but we all know in the end, where did the market go for the rest of this year, right? It didn't come down at all, right? In fact, if anything, we saw a close to 30 over percent increase in the broader S&P 500. So once again, guys, don't be too easy to believe all these bear market people, right? They will say whatever they need to say, right, to capture our attention. Because the truth is, bad news sells, right? Good news does not sell. If I tell you that, oh, the market is rosy, it's nice, nobody say anything. It's just like the weather. If I tell you that, oh, today is sunshine, nobody cares. But if I say that tonight I'm going to have a crazy snowstorm, I flood the city and stuff like that, you will perk up your eyes and listen to it because we are tuned to negative news. Because if we don't pay attention to negative news, we wouldn't have survived to today. But that is actually not good for you as an investor, right? In fact, Sharma did another prediction. He said that, European resilience. Okay, that's a very bad European accent, but he's basically saying that the Europe countries, the stock will outperform the US market. Okay, right? In the 2024, he said that the signs of point above for wider comeback. But guess what? This whole year, if you look at 52 weeks, right, the whole Europe market has not done well at all, right? Year to date, all of them underperform the US market, right? The best is actually just 14%, 15%, or even 19%. That's Germany, right? But otherwise, all of them underperform the US market. So guys, be very, very careful, right? Over here, we are not trying to predict what the market will do, but what we want to do is to look at the deck of cards that is right in front of you, right? We look at the charts, we look at the financial data, and we ask ourselves, is this the best decision to make at this point in time? That's all we are trying to do here, being a stock market genius, right? We're not trying to be a stock market god, okay? So whenever people are being bearish, ask yourself, is there a real reason for that? If they don't, and if you stay out of the market due to all these bearish talks, guess what? The problem is this: you will miss all the opportunities, right? Right. So over here, H. Jackson Brown Jr. has a very famous quote that I really like. He says, "Opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor." And indeed, if you're not, waiting on the dance floor for your partner to come and dance with you, right, then you will always miss the opportunity, right? Another saying is that you will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? So right now, what do I see happening in 2024 and 2025, right? Is that I think the melt up is going to continue, right, as the liquidity increase. So this is going to be positive for a few assets, for example, stock market, crypto, real estate, right? I'm very into all three of them, right? I teach about investing here at Stock Market Genius. I also do property research, right, consultation for my clients. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is that I'm ignoring all the fear mongers. Unless there's someone with very valid reason why the market's going to crash from here, right? Otherwise, I'm just ignoring them. Now, if you are afraid, if you are scared, right? What I would suggest is if you really want, put aside some money as dry powder so that you can take action should and if the crash occur, this year or next year. But to me, I wouldn't be doing that, right? Because to me, yes, crash will eventually come. But it just doesn't seem like now is the best time, right, to be very, very conservative at this stage. Okay, so that's my take for the stock market right now. Okay, I will update you guys as I go. But for the rest of this year and even going to 2025, I don't see much bad news right now. And bear in mind, as we came into 2024 earlier part, right, everyone was saying that we're going to see a full-on recession this year. But guess what? We are already at the tail end of this year, and we have not seen any of that, right? So I hope this serves as a very good reminder to all of you is that don't try to predict what the market will do, but just look at the market in front of you and say, hey, what is the opportunity here and how can I take advantage of it? Okay, and that's what we will do here at Stock Market Genius. Now, for part two, I will go into the specific stock ideas that I'm looking at this week. Okay, so for those of you who are subscribers, go on to part two right now.